All right, guys, welcome to Watch Me Go Broke. I won't be appearing on camera today because, to be honest with you, I've gotten a little chunky. Yeah, yep, this quarantine stuff has kind of made me put on a little bit of weight. And it's something I always do, unfortunately. Right at summertime, right at beach time, I always get fatter. I always drop weight around October. I don't know. I'm weird like that. But on my wrist today is going to be my Alpha Paul Newman, powered by the Seagull ST 1901 Movement, a really cool chronograph. And so this is today's watch. This is going to be the Seiko SNJ025, otherwise known as the Seiko Arnie Reissue. And why is it called the Seiko Arnie? Well, it's because Arnold Schwarzenegger wore an earlier version of this watch in many movies from the 1980s. So the watch basically took on his name because it was so prominent in the films that he was making. So the case is 48 millimeters with the shroud. It's going to be 51 with the buttons, so a big watch today. 50 millimeters lug to lug and 22 millimeter lug width. The crystal is going to be Seiko's proprietary Hardlex crystal, and it is an ISO certified diver's watch with 200 meters of water resistance. And you will note that this is an Ani-Digi watch, which means it has an analog display like a normal clock and also a digital display that's a little bit hard to see under the lights here because of that raised up bezel. It is powered by Seiko's solar H851 movement. So this thing has quite a power reserve. I believe it's a 6-month power reserve once it's fully charged. Pretty neat. I actually prefer Seiko's solar powered technology over Citizen's. Just my opinion. I don't know if you guys have a different opinion. That's fine, but I find Seiko's to be a bit more reliable, and there's a few more features I think that the Seiko solar powereds offer over the Citizens. So the strap is a very comfortable rubber strap, and if you are one person that does not like Seiko rubber straps, you will love this strap. This strap is very supple, very flexible. It does have metal keepers. The hardware on the buckle is pretty substantial, all polished. The case back, highly polished case back with the Seiko Prospex logo, serial number, diver's watch, 200 meter, made in China, even though this is a Japanese watch. They assemble it in China, and it is the H851-00A0 movement, but a good looking case back. Drilled lug holes, always a plus for strap changes, and this watch is something that is definitely something that you're going to want to change straps on. If you are looking to pick one of these up, Amazon seems to have the best price. It has gone down from the original price tag of $525. There's also two versions. There's a Pepsi Patty version as well. Now, why did I opt to get this watch? Well, I was looking for a good workout watch, something I could go running in, jogging, okay, that's all I do. I'm not going to claim I do anything other than that, but yeah, just to go running with, to keep time, and with a stopwatch function. Because if you remember, I did an earlier video review of a G-Shock where I said this. Welcome to Watch Me Go Broke. I'm just out for my morning workout, which consists of a 3-mile run, a little bit of crying, and severe diarrhea. And that does ring true still. My workouts are very, very intense. The running, very, very intense. So I wanted a watch that could actually take it. Now, you will notice that it has two buttons at the 10 o'clock and 8 o'clock position. And these control the functions of the watch, and it's going to be a little bit difficult to see, I believe. But they are screw down to maintain the 200 meters of water resistance should you go diving. To unscrew them, you turn them towards you. And you'll notice when they are out, there's a little black rubber seal there, and that is kind of an indicator to let you know that these are out, so you don't go diving with them out there. But cycling through the displays, I have it on the stopwatch function here. Stopwatch works pretty good. There you go. I just engaged it there. One push to start, one push to stop, and to reset, you just hold it in and it will reset. Now, you also have an alarm function. The alarm is pretty loud. It's not like the alarm on the Seiko Flightmaster that you can barely hear. This one you will definitely be able to use as a legitimate alarm, even in a noisy environment. And then you've got the regular time, like if you can't, I know people that actually can't tell time on an analog display, so you do have that digital display, so I don't know why you'd be watching this watch channel if you don't know how to read an analog display, but you can get this watch if you don't, because it will tell you the time. And then of course you have the day and the date, and then a second time zone should you choose to take advantage of that. I don't even know, I think that's London time actually, I have it on there. So in any function other than the stopwatch function, the top pusher is actually a backlight for the display, and it is very bright, very, very bright. I think one of the coolest functions of this watch is the time setting function. You have a screw down crown at 3 o'clock. The action on it is pretty gritty, but it being pretty much a digital watch, well, it is a digital watch, you're not going to be unscrewing this too often. One pull pulls it out into the time setting mode, and then you just cycle through where you would like to do it. So I'm going to set this time later in the day so you can kind of see this. And there is a click when you are turning this crown. There's a little click, so you feel a little movement in there as the time. It's a click every time the hour changes or wherever you're on the display changing. So I'm going to change this to, looks like 9 p.m. So when you do that, to set the time, you just simply push this in and watch this coolness here. Now that is cool. Very reminiscent of the G-Shocks that have analog displays as well. So when you do have this in the time mode, if you press and hold the top button, it will actually let you know the power reserve. It says battery and it is 10. So this has a full charge. So you always have a power reserve indicator in case you leave it in a dark room for a while. You'll be able to see. Now, ever since I've had this watch, I've been able to maintain that 100% battery because of a very cool function that this watch has. And I'm going to throw up a video here. Whenever the watch is sitting in a dark room for 2 hours, it goes into power save mode, which means it doesn't continue to tick the seconds. The hour hands and minute hands do continue to move to tell you the time, but the digital display also goes off. It's a nice feature to save you some power. Did forget to mention it does have a 120 click unidirectional bezel. The action on this is pretty crappy, to be honest with you. I think they could have, at this price, they could have probably done a little bit better job, and it doesn't really line up. Once it's on the clicks, it's maybe like half a click off. So yeah, par for the course for Seiko for sure, but the chapter ring does align with the rest of the dial, so I guess they're slowly making improvements. So the lume on the analog display is going to be Seiko's LumiBright technology. It's pretty much the best lume out there. This doesn't seem to really glow as bright as like my SKX, but I think it's because the dial is much smaller, and I'm sure that there's just not as much lume on there. But you do have this backlight in case that lume ever goes out, and you can see exactly what time it is wherever you are. So what do I like about this watch? Well, I love the heritage of it being something that's connected to Arnold Schwarzenegger in some way, even though not this exact model. So I think they're probably stretching a little bit with this being the reissue. But I love the heritage. I love the toughness. I've really put this thing through the ringer here. I've had it wet. When I exercise, I do use this rubber strap. I cleaned it up for you. Make it all nice. Yeah, and I know I'm up in my game. Most of the time everything looks like crap that I'm showing you. But the strap is very comfortable for any type of exercise that you're doing. And I also like that it's versatile, and I'm going to show you in a minute how you can put it on a steel bracelet and on a NATO, and it still looks absolutely fantastic. Love the functions. I think there's a lot of functions that you get with this watch that are really, really useful and needed. I love how it retains the Seiko dive watch look, even though it is an anti-digi. That they've kept pretty much the simple dial like you would see on an SKX, even though these appear to be applied indices. I like that little nod to the SKX style. This seems like just a beefed up SKX. It looks really cool. I like that it has 24-hour markers just under the indices. That's always nice. In my work that I do, sometimes I do have to use military time, so if I know I'm going to be using that, this is definitely a watch that I would take with me. I like that this is a beefy digital watch that you can go diving with. I think that's super, super cool, super useful. It just seems like a watch that you really don't have to worry about. And even though it has Hardlex crystal, I really don't care. I plan on putting this thing through the ringer. I think the more beat up this looks, the better I think it's going to look. I really do. When you get some chips and nicks and maybe the crystal gets scratched, it's just going to look like a total bad A watch. So what do I not like about this watch? I hate these pushers. I love this watch so much, but I really hate these. It's not practical. I understand that they wanted to do the 200 meters of water resistance, but if I'm, let me go to the stopwatch function here. So if I'm going to start my run, so I start my run, okay, and I'm running. I now then, if it's wet outside, if it's raining or what have you, I then, while I'm running, have to try to cumbersomely screw this pusher back so water does not get in it. And maybe some of you out there will be like, well, you can wear it in the rain with those out and nothing's going to happen. Well, I don't want to take that chance. I don't want to ruin the watch. So the way that these are designed is kind of awkward. I get why they did it, but I think they could have maybe done a little bit of a different design. And of course, the original Arnie was, I believe, 150 meters of water resistance, and it did not have any screw down pushers. So it is a little bit of added extra security, but it is super cumbersome. Well, I don't like the bezel action either. It feels very light, very cheap. Not good. Not anywhere near the SKX, where this is the the SKX or turtle style bezel. It just not great, and the alignment is pretty terrible. So I don't know, just not good. Maybe I got a lemon on that one, but knowing Seiko, that's probably pretty par for the course. I'm not sure why they did this metal keeper here. Obviously metal's going to last longer than rubber, but it just seems out of place. I think they could have gone with rubber and it'd be okay, especially if you're working out. I mean, you can snag this on stuff, or it could potentially dig into you, although I have not had that happen yet. But I don't know, I'm not a huge fan of this metal keeper here. So there it is on a steel strap code engineer bracelet. I don't know if this really works because of that black shroud. You maybe want to get a black metal bracelet if you do so, but it certainly is versatile. I think some guys might like this look. I don't know. I think it looks pretty cool, to be honest. But this is the way I predominantly wear this watch on this Blue Shark Alpha Shark Slim NATO. From BlueSharkStraps.com. I think those straps are really great. I love the green color. You maintain that militaristic look. So guys, if you're looking for a beautiful watch that is really what you need for your workouts, this is the watch to get. So until next time, get to the chopper!